All right, gang. So what we want to do, let's see, are we recording? Recording. So is I want to go over some Spring 19 feedback. I want to hear from you guys, really unfiltered, on what's going on. Challenge, more on challenges because we know where our successes are. I want to know what the challenges are, why you guys are either seeing challenges in bookings in your territories, specific retailers, what you guys are hearing out there as far as challenges, sell through, and then also I want to go into product. So what we're going to do is we'll record the call and we'll go through specific feedback that they can use in constructing the Spring 20 line. So either areas of color challenges, where they need a focus for the future. You guys have shown the line now and should have some really clear feedback. And feel free to chime in if Peter's talking and then all of a sudden, JJ, you want to chime in and say something, vice versa. You know, and please do that. Know that it's not just one territory saying something, that there's at least some consensus. So for the record, on the call here, we have New England, Mid-Atlantic, Southwest, Rockies, Great Lakes, and Central. Other territories have conflicts out today. So Peter, let's go ahead, since you're always on the top left here. Why don't you go ahead and give us an update on in your territory.
Challenges for Spring 19. Our start to our Spring 18 season was primarily weather driven, and sort of that sluggishness carried right into the summer. And pretty marginal is probably charitable sell-through, especially with bigger guys. Talking sub-50 and sell-throughs with a lot of big guys. Women specifically, the sell-through has been challenging. The stage for Spring 19 being selling what we're going to sell in terms of specifics on men's and women's product wise. Certainly for me, the highlight of spring has been the men's shirts, woven shirts. Really good feedback on the prints and sort of the direction of our atypical or non-typical, the adventurous print, even surprising things like Chipono, people reacting positively to that. Those kind of non-typical plaids are really what's driving the business. In terms of bottoms, I think killed on pants. I'm seeing people just completely opt out of selling pants or because sell-throughs are not great. In terms of shorts, I think we're basically, it seems to me like we're trading. Like I'm not going from 4 styles of shorts when we add. I'm going from 2 styles of shorts to 2 styles of shorts. They just maybe one new one. Like I'm seeing, because we've got All Mountain and we have Jackson Chino. So I see that as a big challenge. I just don't see that we're having the success we wanted to pre-book, especially pants, but really just kind of go heavier into the bottom category with us, which is huge. I mean, that's a huge negative push on the numbers.
Peter, let me pause you. Why do you think, you said you're running through some sell-through challenges with retailers. Why is that? Do you think that's market conditions? Is that only Macy's or not with everybody? Why do you think you're running into sell-through challenges?
I could tell you in one word why I think we're bottom challenged. Why we're challenged is I think we're getting our asses kicked by Cool, and I think for me, the number right there, losing kind of ground is in the bottoms. Okay, I think we're fine in tops. Okay, but at the bottoms we're getting hurt, and it's spelled Kuhl. Period. That's what I'm seeing, and they are, in now.
How are they? What specifically do you think they're delivering or bringing to market that we don't have? Is it brand awareness, better
Brand
product?
awareness.
Brand awareness, I would say it's a combination of, you know, we have some similars. I honestly think it is things like design, like how they designed their two pockets on the thighs, on both thighs, so they're really kind of utility. We don't have anything to mimic. It's certainly the look, the contrast stitching, that kind of thing has a big part to do with it. So I think our stuff looks, you know, here's the analogy. Our stuff looks like Wonder Bread, going to be around forever. It's great, been there, you know, and their stuff is, you know, 7-grain, multi-grain, and it's, you know, it's the stuff to eat these days. It's the way to do. So it stands out. It's a silent salesman. Our stuff, you know, if you have to look for things to point out on something, then I think you're fighting a losing battle. If it screams, look at me, I'm different, and I think battle. So,
Steve, that's exactly what. It's almost like Peter, we're in the same territory, and you know, Michigan, Ohio, what we're hearing, the same thing. Only his retailers seem to be a little bit more polite and some of their comments than ours.
Okay, so starting off with men's, yeah. So go on, Randy.
Yeah, no, but I was just going to say, you know, I mean, every year, and you and I talk about it more than once, but you know, prior to fasting, that the biggest growth opportunity is women's, and it's because year after year, it blows away. And this is another, and where we've had placement, it's really been a relationship sell. And we've used that up to the point where this year sell-through is horrible. We're going to take a break on women's. And then when they kind of circle back to even men's, it's comments as harsh as it's stale. You know, you guys look at the competition. And I understand that you look to us for some feedback and you know, when I say we have designers. They need to get out there and look at what our competition maybe is doing, and we don't always have to be a leader. We can follow some of those things.
Yeah, I totally agree. On the women's side of things, I totally agree with Randy.
Video accounts that dropped women's this year, and I've been, as of this morning, it's many emails they're sell-through on women's, and they're like, there's just no way. You know, we're putting our dollars in Patagonia and Cool.
Right. I also
can you forward those to me, Cindy, please?
Yeah, I can, and I can tell you, I followed up with Sally this morning. The concept is sad, and I have emails, you know, from every buyer on why.
Okay. So let's.
Has anyone been told that this is a stronger women's line than last spring?
Yes.
Initially, yes.
I said from the get-go it was a weak.
I think actually good. We saw, like, my struggles with women's business is that, you know, even like today I went through this weekend and I had to cancel 12% of the business already written, including key account stuff. It's almost all women's, and there's more that I have to chop out. The line is condensed so much by the time we come to market, and then when we're ready to ship, we don't ship anything on time. My retail is nothing comes in. I don't have an assortment to merchandise, and what's not canceled then doesn't have there's no story behind it. Even if you 19, there's the like a Sydney project here. There's probably a couple of Allison projects, maybe enough, and it's so discombobulated. There's no color story that's cohesive across the line. You can't merchandise the line together, and we on an operations side can't seem to ship what's left, that there's anything worth looking at on the floor. You know, we had half four-ways. We had 2 arms on a four-way because we were still moving product. It feels like there's a lack of commitment and a lack of continuity and drive. Like there should be I feel like there should be a really strong, fresh team of women's line if Mountain Khakis wants to be serious with it. Like if you want to go after it, we've got to commit, and we've got to do that in resources and more than just asking the reps, well, what else could you do? Because we're just coming in weak, and we're stumbling into.
In my opinion, you hit on it right there. The biggest thing is it's a jointed line, and there's really not a lot of unique looks, patterns in any of the little disjointed groups we're doing. A bunch of different disparaging things coming in. I would trying to throw it together.
Yeah.
I had that comment today in the line showing I did today. She's like, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to put together.
The other side that I would say, I think this is something that's coming out of territory, and we walk through sports basement stores. We're looking through, trying to figure out like what's the key to trying to get placement here. And brand crushing it out, and Linda knows it. Carve is dominating, and we are $10 to $15 higher almost per SKU. Then their finished product looks better, but Aventura has a great line. Like these other brands are putting a lot of thought and time for us, and I'm saying that our team doesn't put thought and resource in there. Maybe I don't know what the answer there is, but we're losing on product assortment, we're losing on content, and what we do retail, we're getting our asses kicked on price and finish. Like it is. If you put our Wanderlust up against a competing Carve piece, they're $15 cheaper at retail, and is 10 times better, and the finish is cleaner. Like it's tough to go after that women's business when that's what's working. And you know, the biggest back I get from the women's line, even on some of the men's pieces, and what's making it hard to grow is Mountain Khakis. I know we're a premium brand, but we don't always have to be there that we come into. Like we don't have to make sure everything we're doing is over $80. There's a big pushback there, and I hear it in every meeting. What am I supposed to do with that? Like I can't sell that in my store. It's beautiful, but you know, if you're 69 to 75, I could probably consistent challenge that I have and challenges my sell through. Right?
Well,
Nick,
and then we
hold on. Let me volley over to Nick. Yeah, Nick, what are you hearing?
I'm going to echo all the comments that I'm hearing. You know, if you want me to start, you know, like from a territory perspective, you know, we had a late start, and we were the last ones in terms of sell out. It was just so wet and cold, you know, the part of the spring. So our sell-through is really, in the big scheme of things, is what's hampering in terms of commitment from cancellations and just shipments. And I'm just now for spring 18 going to get back to the original number we booked. You know, late deliveries or in cancellations, but there's just not a ton of support from the dealers just right now because there's some issues. But sell-through is really what's hampering in terms of for growth. But women's initially, the first with our accounts and the first previews right in the beginning of the season, the feedback initially was very positive. But as you start to pull together a story, price points are high relative to our competition, has already been discussed. There's the cohesiveness isn't there, and I continue to hear cohesiveness on the backside when guys go back to put pen to paper on the women's. Men's is fine. We've consolidated down. Women's program is good, you know, but across the board categorically, we're slower in terms of sell-through than our competitors right now. Really, what's stalling that?
Let me ask the room here, because we've had some great back and forth, and I want to try and channel. We'll circle more things. We're hearing sell-through is slow. Is that a market-wide thing? Is that a Mountain Khakis thing?
me, it's lower, but it's definitely Mountain Khakis is just dragging. And whether that's just product weight or fit or design, whatever that is, I'm swapping season after season. I'm just having to go lighter and lighter to find hopefully something that will turn better and will fit right. And the mountain pants, again, we're going to get it in, see, and we're making some evolutions there, but it's really, for us, it's down bad, especially the broader the e-commerce side, so we get a little bit more of a national perspective on it for us, is tough. It's way down in our internet. Similar to what the other guys are, whether it's specialty or even our bigger key accounts, like there is a lack of inline buy for spring 19 because the on-hand inventory is so heavy and the sell-through is low. Like I can write it through. We'll see if it turns this fall. We'll see if it cools down, and at least in the Southwest or, my neck of the woods, and we'll see how do. But at a very slow pace. I'll say another thing as it relates to the price in our men's category that I just got feedback from one of our dealers mimics what Gear Co-op had said before we parted ways with them, which is 78% right now their sales, whether it's men's tops, women's, 78% of the business is sold off price. Like it's finding people to pay full price, no matter whether it's a small specialty retailer or it's a broader scale. It's tough. We're go into promotional periods, drop the price on tops, drop the price on any kind of outerwear pieces, to try to turn them to create some back. So that's inhibiting our spring 19 buys as well on a grander scale.
This inventory retail has been very soft, don't you think, Randy? With everything that we rep.
It's been, it's all relative to our competitors. If it's soft for Patagonia or soft for Cool, we're still from sell-through. And, we can talk about sell-through. We can talk about, all different selling. The bottom is if we have strong styles and we're heading in the right direction, then, that's what we need. Peter or JJ, one of them said, is what's the feedback on, for example, women's from last year? Well, a lot of people said, well, it's better. It's not better than our competitors. It's better than last year. And for us, that's not saying a lot. So it just comes down to just getting some stay in the market out there and design product that's going to be relevant.
Annie, you want to chime in?
I mean, I've got a little bit different situation in my territory because the stores are pretty much held with sales, but Mountain Khaki is stale for them. But one of my issues is they're servicing a brand, and so I can't go on everything for sell-through you guys have been doing, because right now my buyers are paying specific attention to the brand all of a sudden and the sell-through, especially whenever there's a rep change. That's when they kind of start the numbers again. So I'm experiencing kind of all over the board right now with sell-through. Some stores are completely sold through. Some have too much inventory, are taking a pass in spring 19. I will say for e-commerce, the sell as in other brands. So for our brand awareness and our marketing programs, we need to not focus so much on direct e-commerce from the website, but get some more specific programs for specialty retailers. As my e-commerce hit, the retail stores are doing better because there's a little bit more attention and focus behind it with the selling. So that kind of makes it brand obvious that the brand on its own legs is not selling the way it used to. Is overstocked in a lot of my stores. Our pants are stale. We need to freshen it up. Women's, I kind of have specialized in women's brands, but I'm actually having really good response with the women's. And my brands out from women's the past couple of years, they're coming back on board and ordering women. So the sell-through 50 season but team line. I don't know whether it's the experience I have presenting it and really putting it together for them. But they're pretty positive with the women's, even though I agree with everything you guys have said that we do need a women's designer for women. And we need to really focus in on specializing men's and women, because a lot of it, you could use a generic word of saying it's boring. And we need to specialize and make it a little bit more unique in pieces that are going to have a wow factor, so that they're not going to have as an easy excuse to say, oh, I've got that covered, or, well, we'll see. They show excitement meeting, but then when you're not there. So we have to really make them react to some of our pieces and then go in with the merchandising to follow up and make it a collection. And that's going to be parallel with men's and women's. So there's product categories that we need to expand into that we definitely can take some business, do with like fishing. A lot of these fly fishing angler shops in my territory, they've come and approached me because they are things besides Patagonia, Colombia, and they're liking some of the shirts that we're doing. Faulting ourselves with some of our pricing of our women's and our men's, especially in pants. Definitely Peter on the parallel movement of, instead of them growing with shorts, they're just replacing the 2 shorts they did last year with 2 different shorts. And then the new fabrics like within the Lodo. It's a little harder for me because I haven't been working with these retailers for enough years to really focus in on, okay, what products have been hitting it out of the ballpark for them and what happened. So I'm now going to the retailer specific questions as to, okay, what were your customers most excited about? What did your staff, what winners and why, and then what were your big winners and why? But I'm definitely, okay. I'm struggling with sell through as well. Especially accounts.
Can I just make a comment on the short thing, like the replacing, like sticking with 2 styles, they just keep rotating styles? That's directly related to sell-through. We had a piece that was cranking, and it would be much easier for them to add another style because we're doing so well with this style. But they're out there throwing darts, and sold okay with that. I'll replace it with another one because nothing's really selling through that well.
See, the commuter short for me is a sell-through. My stores have blown through that. So I'm pushing them all into the Lodo, and then everybody who's new, because I'm picking up a lot of new business. So in favor to my territory, these new accounts have not experienced any of this negativity yet. So I'm kind of coming in with them that they're liking the line and some of our fabrics, and they have not made any comment to objection to price yet. I'll see once I chase them for the orders what they come in, but I'm able to actually separate out, like when I did my presentations, I separated out the fabrics within the shorts and pants and kind of did different categories for them and made sure that they walked away knowing what each fabric and each difference was between the short and the pant. And I'm also going to really scrutinize their orders to make sure that they don't have repetitive SKUs in that order so that we have definitive sell-through.
Okay. No, that's good. So I want to answer the question, what's missing from our line? What do we need? I want to answer that at the end. But I really want to try and get Noah and team some feedback, because right now, some of this stuff is good. You're talking about, well, what does that mean? Like, how do I know that ultimately we're salespeople, we give our feedback, but there's, designers know what's happening out there, and we got to trust that. I hear your feedback on pricing. through. Randy, I like the thing that you said that we have been getting a lot of relationship buys, and a lot of that is coming, we've tapped that account, so to speak. We're overdrawn. And then also brand awareness, I hear that. But let's do this real quick. Let's flip through the book. I have it up here on the screen. Let's just flip through the book and talk about any specifics on styles. We'll try to do this in an expedited way so it doesn't take us 5 hours. But I really want to look at men's outerwear as a category. So, the Static Peak All Mountain Rainmaker. And were any of those like a real solid home run? And if ones were challenged, why were they challenged?
Rainmaker's a challenge for my territory as a whole. The All Mountain was a huge hit.
The first two, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
The first two are a struggle. I mean, it's not easy at all. So it gets the love. I can give it love, but it doesn't get love back. That's for sure. So.
Okay. So Rainmaker's a challenge. Why is that, JJ? Is it price or fabrication?
It's a little bit of everything. It's also the fact. I mean, it's not wet enough here. We don't do any strong coastal business that. I mean, Eureka Bowl would be probably the wettest, most interesting part. But I mean, in years where we don't get a decent winter, another rain piece is the last thing on any mind, especially if what works. For my guys, is stuff that kind of has that MK ethos, kind of that workwear style, like the All Mountain jacket. That showed really well, and that's booking well. It's coming in on a lot of stuff. The Static Peak is kind of hit or miss. It just kind of stands there. We don't have that. We'll get to the rest of the synthetic stuff when we get there. But yeah, it's the All Mountain is the winner out of the whole thing for me.
So Static Peak not resonating. We've tried it for a couple seasons. Do we need to continue forward with it? Is it a color play? Is it a price play? Is it they got the else? What's the challenge there?
This is Peter. For me, Static Peak is actually a piece that I pretty hard personally. I believe in it. I think color is a big issue there. I think we're stale on colors. I think we're stale on the styling. It's really kind of, I think we could spice it up a little bit, not change the price, and we'd sell more of it. The wind shirt, the Rainmaker for me, just because of where I'm at, it's a solid C style. It's just a lot of people don't get it. People that get it buy a little of it. I think it's a good part of the line. I'd keep it. Those are the only two pieces on those two pages that are even worth discussing for me.
Okay, no play on the hoodie. I remember the hoodie. What's your guys' feedback on the rabbit hoodie?
Money.
Style.
It's expensive.
It's $100
you can get something
hoodie.
like that at Old Navy
expensive.
Way too much.
$25.
Got it. All right, let's move on to the next page here. So, why is my thing not populating here?
Real quick for Great Lakes, the Static Peak works for us as well. We book that pretty well for Great Lakes.
Okay.
Rainmaker,
It's
no.
just too basic, though. I agree with Peter. We need to fluff it, quote unquote.
Put some cool trims on it, or just
Okay.
Right.
it could be a really cool piece. It is a really cool piece. Just make it stand out a little bit more sitting on the rack.
And of course, that's always hard to do and maintain price.
It's hard. It's not a relevant category where they're going to be spending dollars on anyways. Technical companies, the outerwear companies, they're doing it. So why would they come to us for it? Especially when it looking that basic and that price.
Gotcha. Good feedback. All right, tops. I heard the tops was a general area of success. What was successful with tops? Where were tops challenged?
Prints were great.
Prints are great.
Yeah.
Prints are great. I think any not plaid is great too. El Camino, the Horizon, Chipono, Venturist, all that stuff is good. I struggled with the Humidor for sure. I think it's a little bit heavy for territory. Everything else.
If I had
really
one
well,
comment that resonated with me is people, they start to pick the shirts, all of a sudden you get everything's a dark navy.
Yeah, everything was
color.
colored in blue.
Everything's twilight. All of a sudden you're like, "Ooh, you're right. Whoa, look at lighter colors." So things like the horizon, I think we could have changed. We could have done a different blue in there, in addition to the new smoke. But that's kind of a piddly thing, but I think that's one relevant thing. But for me, the shirts, thought they were great. I think they are great.
Okay. Are you seeing styles like, because you mentioned plaids are challenged, are you seeing styles like the shoreline begin to really slow down in interest?
I've seen things like,
I think the shoreline got beat up by the.
no, I was going to say things like the Madras. The Madras is our most basic conservative plaid. And for me, in conservative New England, people are going away from that. They want things like the adventures. They want horizon. They want things like, even the rodeo, I think, is getting overshadowed by some of the other pieces this particular season. So I see it as a transitional season. Like, I've never seen this many prints on orders in, it's been at least 10 years. Back in my Patagonia days when people bought prints, this is like I said, for me, it's a huge, like, wow, people are coming up and over the hill and they're coming down the other side right now in terms of not buying traditional plaid and people wanting to buy something that's unique and different.
They like the shoreline fabric can, but the plaid did not sell.
Dark.
The colors weren't there. So,
yeah, the red is not sellable.
We need to do a little bit more on some special, like maybe going over Portugal or going over and sourcing some more fabric hands. That would
I'll just jump on a source again.
Okay. What are you guys seeing in kind of these more refined styles? Spalding, Gingham, Davidson, Passport.
Passport all day.
Yeah.
Passport.
Why is that? Hand?
It's the hand, yeah, for sure.
I think, yeah,
definitely.
I would agree with the Passport. I think Spalding Gingham, we should have 6 colors in Spalding Gingham, that 3 of them carry on for 2 or 3 seasons, and then I had some guys say, "Oh, all those are all new colors," but they're really not. No, I like this colors because there's no consistency in the colors because they changed all 3 of them. It means only 3 colors.
And they were all kind of warm weather territory colors.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a strong piece. I just think we need to sort of like put a stake in the ground on we have on the Passport.
Do you guys need a Davidson anymore?
Nope.
Yeah.
Not for me.
I don't. Take that spandex and throw it in the Spalding Gingham and don't kick me up in the price too much. Give it a little bit of stretch along with some more colors.
Yeah.
And that would be a weight and it would make more sense. But Davidson's just a little bit too heavy, a little bit too preppy. So that hand, and then the Passport, I love it. We push it. Get a little bit of pushback. I mean, the hand is nice. The hand on it has actually going to lay. We get medium traction in there, and then $90 for sure. We don't necessarily get a lot of love either. But if we made that Spalding a little stretchy, a lot more color offering, both the short and long, I think that'd be a winner for us. Right now, it's just I pull it off the rack and get ready to put on the hanger, and I get no's before I even get to the wall. It's like, nah, that's a good shirt. No, that's not my customer. So it'd be awesome to see it changed up a little bit.
What about the Smuggler? That was brand new.
The fabric was cool, but the colors weren't.
I put that thing hard.
I had very negative reactions.
What was that, Annie?
Correct.
Negative reaction to the
too shiny, too slick.
No, wait a minute. That's the perfect.
A little bit.
All polyester.
Beer, dump it down the front of your shirt, rolls right off. Fraternity shirt for your kid going to school.
Nice try.
There's 2 sales.
That's how I pitched it to my college town accounts.
For me,
what about our
for me, this
Not our campus shirt.
The Scrambler was the one. If somebody was considering that, they saw the Scrambler, like, nope, forget that one. Forget the
Yeah.
Smuggle, I'm going with Scrambler.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. Yep. 100.
Scrambler and inlet as well.
Scrambler and inlet did well.
Yes.
What was the objection
Freaking boring.
due to GOA
Colors
feedback?
are awful.
It looks like
And-
something you get at like TJ Maxx or
It's
Sears.
boring.
Yeah, it's a design
And
thing.
I can get one from Columbia for $29.95 at
Right.
Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah.
Okay. Air Skiff shirt. The biggest objection I hear on Skiff is I can't
Right.
sell a $100 shirt. Is that what you guys heard?
That's true.
But I mean, for the technical features, we're right in there with Sims and Patagonia.
I'll
so-
tell you right
We
now,
are.
that's a better
Yeah.
shirt than else because of the fabric, because anything else. The only issue on that fabric is it's real, it snags easy. Like if you have a toothpick in your mouth and you're picking your head, it's going to snag on the Skiff.
I still get
What
pushback
about-
with that in the desert, whether it's at new accounts or people that are seasoned. I get pushback on the $100 price, and my retail customers aren't picking it up every day. That's good to say. Arizona Hike Shack this
But
summer.
Patagonia, Sims, everybody's at $90, 90, 100. It's 6 of one, half dozen the other. I think that shirt is overpriced. Would I like to see it $10 less? Absolutely. But
Okay.
I don't even know if that would sell it.
Yeah.
It would probably help. And they love the shirt. It's
fabric
there's
is
resistance
like
there.
crazy good.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, in the category, there's just too many
Okay.
plaids.
What about
There's a lot of players in the category too.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it was like, well, here's this plaid option. Oh, wait, another plaid option. And the plaids weren't that
Inlet.
compelling. I mean, the pattern of them, they weren't that compelling. They kind of got lost after the inlet. It was just like,
I'm getting love on one print.
how did the inlet get received?
what?
Inlet get received?
The inlet was great. So my really hardcore angler shops, they love the inlet, they love the Skiff, and they love the Scrambler. Everything else they passed on.
What were the challenges on Equatorial and Trail Creek that you guys are running into?
Equatorial was a juvenile in the design and color of it, and Trail Creek just looked like everybody else. A couple hits on the. I mean, great price, but they didn't enough for their colors
Right.
and
Equatorial, should be warm weather colors, and those aren't warm weather colors.
yeah.
The pockets on the trail kind of hurt me a
Yeah,
little bit as
that's
they're a little
true,
bit
yeah.
angled, it seems.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like if the Trail Creek was designed more like the Equatorial in that price point, we would have a winner. A little bit of ventilation on the back still, but yeah, the angled pockets on the chest have been a with that bow seat. So the people aren't really adapting to it.
Okay, let's bounce it to knits real quick for men. So organic hemp story. Tatanka, talk to me
The
about
color
Tatanka.
killed it.
I like
That thing always sells through, but the colors were bad except for the twilight.
I think we got to
Okay.
keep with the buffalo print and something for sure. Be tracking a little bit over my place, so I would keep something. I don't know if it's a knit or if it's something else, but like anytime that we've done that the past few seasons, I've sold it okay. So,
My territory, anything they make in the Tatanka, it will sell out. I mean, people want leggings, they want hoodies, they want shorts, they want everything in it.
I mean, the bison, I think, is just doing well overall. It doesn't really matter even what brand it is. I mean, if we probably should have owned that 2 years earlier than we tried to start. But it's us, or whether it's a Patagonia hat or a UBB piece, the bison sells well. I'd expand that whole print folio with the bison.
Agreed.
I would try and do something with sun protection with it as well.
What about the hemp program?
So for me, the whole the whole knit category here, you know, I might get one place in my stores, and if they're going to do one, it's going to be patio all day. Like, That's just the bottom line of it. Like, they continue to go back to patio because they can do it. And not that everything else isn't great.
It's priced
What's that?
right.
Yeah, price rate. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's
So,
a soft hand. I mean, that
for
goes
me-
head to head with Horny Toad and with Patagonia with their model polos. But our price is fantastic. So
they like to have a story. They can't do more than one or two polos. It's going to be patio all day.
Right. There should be more colors in the patio.
Yeah,
And then-
those should
What about
change more
dry-
frequently
what about-
too, I feel.
and instead of doing a polo
about the
in
dry
the
release?
Passage series, they should do a quarter.
What about-
On
You asked about the Passage Polo, Steve?
What well, you guys about just the dry release program?
I had positive feedback on the revision of the piece that be non contrast. That's a competitive thing. Patagonia, Sims, you name it. Anybody that plays in that realm has a piece like that. I think we need to, with that. That's a little bit more MK-like. That's a little bit more distinctive.
Peter, what's distinct to us?
Sorry,
What's distinctive to us?
it's not distinctive to us.
the
Passage
Passage.
hoodie
Right.
is in
It's like
tonal
placing this.
tonal
Go ahead.
stitching, right? It's tonal stitch. Patagonia has a piece like that has contrast stitching. Well, it looks like ours. But put some kind of trim on. There's got to be something that I'm not in there.
Actually, what's selling?
Be creative. Be creative of that, but make it sort of a Mount Khaki thing. But it really is, and it's a category I think we can continue to kind of nurture.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
especially my territory. That's
I just need, if we really want to play in that, it goes back to the sun protection category, right? We need a long sleeve sun protective straight on, not a hoodie.
Yeah.
We've tried, but we really haven't tried it because we've tried it in these whacked out prints. I think we could do a print, that's kind of take some cues from our wovens. But missing that, we're sort of saying like we don't in the hoodie. If you're talking about a dry release sun protective piece for whether it's for paddling or fishing or traveling or hiking or whatever, we don't have it.
No, we need the long sleeve tee and we need a quarter zip in that. We don't need the hoodie.
Well, I would disagree with that. I would disagree with
So
that.
Yeah.
Steve, what do you know what the price difference is between the sun protection of 30, 40, and 50? Is it really that much? If it is, why don't we just do everything at 50? I've had several people ask that.
Yeah, I don't know if there's necessarily a price, like you can say, well, go from this to this. I think what they do is they just pick out a fabric and it happens to test out at that, and that's where it happens to test out. But I hear what you're saying. Obviously, the more sun protective factor, the better. What about tees? What are you guys hearing on tees?
We need a better hand of cotton.
Are the graphics good? I feel like they're good, bad, and
I think it goes back to the bison always wins. Like putting the bison on stuff is going to crush. I think the Cuddy does well in some of the branded shirts, but we try to get too kind of, obviously the Pop Bison, no love. Mountain Vibes, no love. And I've got some questions even on going onto the logo shirt for maybe a different fit on some of those graphic tees. So, again, again, maybe that goes back to even some of the rest of our men's tops lines, is trying to get into a little bit more of a modern fit with some
JJ,
I would also comment on some colors. Like, I don't sell a lot of straight jungle green or red T-shirts, and nor do I sell a lot of white T-shirts. I think there's too much white I think there's not enough charcoal. I don't think there's I think, you know, light blues and greens and that kind of stuff just doesn't fly for me.
More solid. I mean, whites, heathered grays, freestone heathers, those are all way too kind of light, just basic t-shirt looking with a little screen print on it.
Well, there's a really
Let's power in.
Denver who makes the t-shirts for the store, and I talked to Noah and Steve about it, so I think they're going to talk to him and maybe for some instead. And he's got really cool graphics and is very current, has amazing fabrics and hands on cottons that he uses with the tees.
Okay, good.
Okay. Talk to me about stretch poplin, new category. We're all excited about it coming into the sales meeting. Seems like there was a little bit of a flash in the pan. It seems like the excitement wasn't necessarily there when it came to sell it in. Am I wrong?
It was received well in our territory.
Yeah, I agree. I think once again, even though you talk about, hey, it's a new fabric, that thing goes back to the sell-through. They have poplin right now. It's been the same old thing for years. People are like, sell-through's okay. Oh, it's a new fabric. They're like, you're not, you know, I'm not convinced to turn it around just simply by changing the fabric, that kind of thing.
I'm with Peter on that
That
one.
said, I think we're still going to book it, but I think it's got a hangover.
Okay. Jackson Chino, it seemed like it did really well in fall. We brought the short in. How was the short received?
Well,
yeah, I have a comment on this. I think, I don't know why we, on a lot of these core pieces, we give people the option of having slim or relaxed. The two ends of the spectrum would be great in slim and classic. Why do
Why does our feedback?
Relaxed our option when everybody's going, and you know, if you want a classic fit, you got to go to camber. That's a better fit. Same thing with the pant. Like, I think it hurts me when people go, yeah, it looks great, and they're like, it's only slim.
Right, because isn't it kind of replacing the Lake Lodge in a way, the Jackson Chino?
Did it? A little bit.
And then we offer it in a slim,
Right.
so that really narrows.
For me,
the
it's
market.
indicative that Jackson Chino is replacing the Teton Quill, Lake Lodge, competing with the poplin. So and if you look at them, they're pretty second, and there's not a lot of people saying, I need two of those, two of the three. I need Teton, you know, they're not. They're saying, I need one. You know, that's what's happening. We are cannibalizing the crap out of ourselves.
Good point.
It needs to be a couple, slim classics.
I think there's other pieces in there. The classic should be the go fit, and then maybe we were slim. But I think we're deferring to relax, where I think classic is a better, more acceptable fit.
Again, sandbar is offered in slim, and it has the
draw cord killed it.
Doesn't have a zipper on it. Yeah, it did. It killed it for us.
Okay. I heard Frangela was talking a little bit about it being $70. Is that a reality?
I couldn't get past the draw cord.
We don't do
it didn't happen for me. Like, I had nothing going on.
Yeah, it's another piece that when we got it off the rack, it was turned around before we ever got it. It was totally, I mean, obviously a piece kind of built for the Southeast. Where the price came in, I don't even know, because it was not a lot of people looking at that short. Got that right.
Yeah.
What about
our territory doesn't book any convention seams for men. It just flat out doesn't.
Got it. I'm gonna try and move us through some of these here. Mulligan, should that stay or should it
Give
go?
me more colors in the floral.
Yeah.
Black shorts is not for me, and
It's too light. It sticks to your body.
Okay. Board 60 short. Any interest there? Young,
Mountain
heavy.
short.
We should have had it in
Yeah.
women's, not men's.
I mean, I don't probably won't make it, but I had anybody who has a bike shop, that kind of thing. People booked a few of them. You know, it's a great little novelty piece.
Okay.
I did
sell
the
more if
60
we had
top.
less
I
of
don't
them.
think-
No question about that. But we're talking about the short.
What about the boardwalk short?
Don't
Come
need
on.
it. Don't need it anymore.
Okay.
No, it does
All right.
on the better apparel.
What about the holy grail here, which is on this spread, which is Teton Twills, all mountain pants, OMPs, AUPs. So all mountain pants we added this year, which I think is a welcome thing. I still feel like all mountain pants are definitely getting a lot of interest and a lot of traction there. What about, so there's obviously not going to be any change there, so I don't want to necessarily spend too much time there. But what about our core? What about the original core of mountain khakis? Teton Twill, OMP, AUP. I'm there.
It's too heavy for my
For
territory.
me, the Teton Twill is
Sorry,
the
Pete.
passenger pigeon.
What was that, Peter?
The Teton Twill is the passenger pigeon, which went extinct at the turn of the century.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know
the all mountain
Southeast does-
short outsold that for me. They like the new.
So are you feeling like the core, it might be time to maybe part ways with
I
some of
mean,
the core?
I know what the numbers are, so
I think
I
you
would
need to
say
keep
no.
pants.
But
You need to keep pants. Shorts are not as important for
Yeah.
me, that's for sure.
good thought.
Well, I mean, Teton 12.
Yeah.
I thought the
So,
colors were a little too light in that short. You had three khakis.
yeah, and I know the Southeast is really good
Yeah,
with the Teton Twill.
That's their monster. We don't wear Conchino or maybe no Poplin or into an all mountain or slim fit. That's kind of the direction they want to be. We've never done well with the Teton and the other guys. I mean, I know there's areas that probably do well with it. It's so heavy. It's too heavy, you know, for that price. If somebody's buying that heavy a pant, they're going to buy a cheaper workwear of it. You know, they're not going to buy the OMP necessarily to go destroy it or to see how long it lasts. So we've and it's a product that just knows. Everybody knows whether it had fit issues a decade ago. Everybody knows it's a very heavy product. Mammoth, trucky, down to the desert. We're just not going to be anywhere with that stuff. Even the Amber collection coming up, the 9 ounces is like as heavy as we can go in the fall.
Okay, so talk to me about Camber. Was our home run piece years ago, 3 or 4 years ago when we introduced it. We added the 103 based on one of these calls. And what are you guys hearing about Camber overall?
I think that this is where, when I'm not sure who was talking earlier about cool kind of coming out with some new sleek looking designs, like that's where this is coming from. You know, like Camber, it was great for the launch. It was awesome. And I think I don't know if you can get rid of the names or not. I think 105, 107, 106 are all good things to have, but count these things to make them different.
Yeah, especially with the
I don't know.
utility pockets.
Like on the Camber 105 and
Yes.
106?
What, you don't want them, or you want them redesigned?
No, I want them redesigned.
Yeah. I think the fit is great. I think the fit is kind of right on. It's kind of our fit. I think the fabrics are all too heavy to the all mountain style with jeans pockets. These are all 5-pocket jean style, so it fits it looks different, right? On everything else is a classic Mount Khaki pocket style, especially the front pockets. And there's not a fabric here, really a summer weight fabric as it's divine these days,
Yep.
like an all mountain weight fabric.
6 ounce
Everything's
range.
heavy. And this is,
That's what I
for
was
me,
thinking.
this is totally being cannibalized by Jackson Chino, totally being cannibalized by all mountains. People are going, we've had no, hey, you got a new short? Sure, I'll go to that. And they'll give they'll give up on the 107.
Yeah,
short,
well, that's what
but
with me, they're going into the Lodo.
yeah, well, I mean, it's a jean
or the All
style. It's a
Mountain.
jean, 5-pocket jean style. So I think there's definitely room, but even though Lodo is a heavier fabric, I think
Not really.
this category needs a new fabric. It needs a little bit more of a
It's like a lightweight camber.
Totally lightweight camber.
I think that's a whole different animal. I think that's an all mountain category.
Right.
Though. I think there's still a home for camber. I don't think you can ditch camber. I think it's a category of all mountain.
I'm saying get
that need
camber, whatever you want to put on it, but give me a lighter weight than a 9-ounce canvas or whatever. It's twill. I mean, look at the fabric that we're using in the original twill. Give me a 4.7-ounce cotton with stretch and make it camber styling, and give me pockets on both sides. Now I got something that's a little more distinctive.
Okay.
Let's see.
307.
Zion 69.
What do you got?
It does
It's not
well
a
in
summer
our
product for me.
Price, weight, just denim in general for summer?
Yeah, I have a
Yeah,
hard time
denim in
with
summer's
selling.
tough.
Okay. All right. So let's move into some of our Lodo. You guys feel like that's doing pretty well. I'm hearing some pretty good feedback, especially from Annie on Lodo. What about the rest of you guys?
Lodo is great. Cruiser is a little expensive for me, but I love it. It's probably my favorite short in the line and push it really hard. Original Trail short was a home run for me. Teton Crest, it's okay.
That was
Yeah,
canceled.
I think for me the Lodo is, it's sort of like the modern menswear short. So I like
The
that short.
Lodo is our kingpin to go up against the stretch Zion with Piranha, because that's a huge sell-through fabric for them and has been. That's been their kingpin. So we're about $10 more, $15 more, but and a little bit heavier, but not too much. So that's what all the buyers are paying attention to with the Lodo, and they're bringing it in.
Yeah, I
Heard
think
some good things on Original Trail.
Yeah,
yeah, Original Trail's great.
cool.
Yeah,
Distinctive short. It's like, I think it sells itself kind of thing. There's there's interesting stuff when it's sitting on a rack for people to kind of check out. I think it's the fact that we offered it in one fit and it was classic fit.
Agree.
Equatorial.
Need more colors.
It fits a niche.
Yeah.
But if you guys need to bounce off, it's 4:30. I know we're running long here, but I want to try and catch you this. Because this, again.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Peter.
I just I've had the discussion quite a bit with a lot of dealers this particular season, and the I know we just changed it. The nomenclature of a slim fit. I would like to just sort of somebody should throw that on the table and it's not slim, because I get people that are freaked out, intimidated, and they have customers that are freaked out, intimidated by slim fit. Something like a tailored fit or whatever, something a little less intimidating than slim fit. And I know we just changed it from Broadway. I just want to throw it out there that I get people get freaked out. The minute you talk about slim fit, go slim, they're like, oh God, I can't sell slim fit. If that's them, just think what the customers are thinking. Just throwing it out there.
Same issue, Pierre. I have the same thing. But it's the nomenclature of the day, I think. I don't know that we can get around it.
But, they think it's such a nebulous term. What is classic fit? Well, that's a mountain khaki term. What is relaxed fit? Oh, I kind of get that. But slim, they think it means a freaking lycra tight. So it's intimidating. It's just, it doesn't sort of play in the outdoor realm, which is where
I have to consistently clarify that the Mountain Khaki Slim Fit is not a slim or a skinny fit. That it's just more of a modern fit, and it does come up.
Every single line presentation.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I do.
What are we missing in the men? If you guys can, if you guys can wave a magic wand and you need a product, a category, a price point, what are we missing from the men before we bounce to the women? What are you guys missing that you really need the product team to look at? Is there a clear product that we're getting our asses handed by besides the big KUHL? But what else is being out there that we really need them for development on?
I just need them to continue to reduce the weight of men's bottoms specifically. Like I said, the camber cotton, that mid to late fall for 80% of my territory. So the drive down to more products, bring that all mountain, that 6 ounce weight across more styles in men's bottoms would help us grow, I think, some of that men's bottoms business. Right now, we're just hampered by, half the line's not viable for most of the territory for the spring season based on the weight of the higher volume pieces and what drives the dollars.
Utility.
What was that, Cindy?
Maybe just the Olympian from the Kellogg, those heavy fabrics. Number 107 came and put some, like JJ said, some lighter weight.
So I'm hearing we need lighter weight bottoms. I'm hearing lighter, brighter colors on tops. What else are you guys hearing?
I think it's an all-mountain category now. I mean, the all-mountain pant in a category like the camber. I think that would be fantastic.
I agree. And
We
definitely
need to expand.
Said more shirts, like what kind of fabrics that really kind of contour and skin the body. Because now that I'm seeing a lot of these shirts on my friends, there's a lot of wide shirts.
We need another fit in men's tops, and it's something that I know has been broached, but we need a closer to modern fit. We've got the body in on some of these products. It's just everything in the men's tops. I've been asked multiple times, do you guys only do a classic fit in men's tops? Like, we need to expand that. It's with all these different fits in men's bottoms, and I know bandwidth is limited, but that's big. And that's part of where the sell-through that we see, where Cool wins, is on their tops. We don't sell men's top well necessarily. I think part of that's due to the fit, to just the classic kind of boxy nature of everything that we make.
Do you guys need more technical tops? Are you thinking more of a slim fit, I heard?
For classic and relaxed in tops, are you thinking more of a slimmer
I think
fit?
more of not. I wouldn't even call it slim. I don't want to put that. I would just call it more of a modern.
Well, it's called,
or a modern trim.
It's a tailored fit, and when you get into the shoreline falls, anytime you get into a palapa crepe, organics, you're getting a softer contouring fabrication that tailors the body.
Sure. Call it tailored.
Steve, I think if you're talking about technical tops,
it's called a mountain fit or athletic.
Steve, if you're talking about if you're asking for technical tops, in my world, it'd be going after fly fishing shops. If we're going for more technical tops, we need more technical bottoms. And they have a thrill that fit in that category, but we don't have a collection big enough to go into a big Orvis dealer or somebody like that who's fly fishing all over the place to really make it happen. You get into technical tops, I have 2, maybe 3 to sell. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm seeing Ex Officio completely fizzle on their apparel assortment. Are they leaving a gap there that we need to look at back?
Yeah, but I think their thing is the buzz-off stuff. To me, what I'm hearing is that driving their top business, which they're walking away, an insect shield.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to drive more technical story to it, I mean, I feel like this is another area where I get Trail Creek people want to buy into, but the design needs to be a little bit cleaner and sleeker and better. But the skiff to even the Equatorial is price sensitive stuff for the technology there, just for being a sun shirt, for being a mountain khakis. Sun protector.
So I'm hearing price point.
I would like to see something that's more competitive there. Yeah.
Other thing we can do in the catalog, actually have fly fishing category and even have pictures so that when we're meeting with our angler shops, either we can even have a separate pamphlet with that for them so they don't get the whole catalog, or just have it in one section of the catalog where it's pinpointed to that. Goes better as just a category, because then they don't get lost.
So kind of showing it by activity.
Well, sure, but we could whiteboard or list that stuff out with the one sheet off of.
I'm with JJ. I don't think we need to be spending resources on a separate fly fishing catalog.
I'd rather put more resources into more color, a broader offering. Because, I mean, when you look at this, whether you're White Sierra, Columbia, working up, you're good, better, best. And we're coming into a category that my territories aren't necessarily for, and we want to be the best. Like, we need to have a more kind of all-around story, I feel like, to this whole category.
You know, there's 2 pages of product right now, and then you throw in the nits, and then if we added the equatorial pant, the cruiser pant, you know, the all mountain in there. I honestly think if there was a long sleeve passage journey, that's a pretty good thing to walk in and fly shop.
Yep.
No, they're not really buying that much more. If you look at what they're buying from Sims or Patagonia, with the guys who rule that world, really buying that many more shirts from them, and they're all kind of in that category. We have 3 technical woven shirts.
Right. I just need a competitive, compelling, all-around story, I think, for Mountain Khakis to go after that shop. Again, just kind of walking in and having, which is a good little sun-protected portfolio, but then just trying to them on the premiumness of the brand that isn't necessarily perceived as a premium in that category or even a player in that category for their day-to-day business. It's tough.
The best shirt for me and my basically the one and only traditional fly shop that I have in my territory right now is the Passport shirt, because it's different than what Patagonia, what Sims offers.
Right,
but it's a technical story, it's a travel story, and these guys are always selling the guys that are packing their rod, hitting, you know.
Yeah, they're going out to try to fly fish. No, that business, it's a big growth business right now, and we can definitely be a player. That's one of the category expansions that we can get into, because we can add hats. There's a bunch of stuff we can add and be a player in it.
Don't get me going.
So I got asked a couple of times about more hats this week. Last week, sun hats.
No.
What I'm hearing from you guys, Magic Wand is lighter. We need to look at lighter stretch bottoms across the board. We got to look at our price points kind of just generally across the board. We're a little bit out of the wheelhouse of where we need to be. Technical tops, technical hybrid travel tops are, and we need to look at kind of freshening our styles on our bottoms just across the board, looking at items like trims. And Cindy, I gave you some feedback early on about Woolrich, about you're trying to replace some of that Woolrich business as they're leaving the market, but we were incentive to replace that.
Correct.
Yeah,
is that
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you?
We had similar feedback. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that, Cindy, but we had similar feedback. We did get 2 of those Woolrich. I'm continuing trying to pull up special ones, even 2 that flipped over. That was feedback. I was like, this is great, but yeah, we're going to be more of that premium price. And, you know, we need something to fill that hole. Curious or excited to see how it sells through in spring 19. But there's been pushback there. I can just concur with Cindy.
What are what are the brands right now in men's that are really taking our market share or are challenging us? Because obviously we understand Cool. Cool's a $140 million brand. We're not gonna eat that elephant right now. But there are some other people that are trying to come in on our space and men's stuff. What are those brands that we need to be looking out after?
Not
Brothers
for me, but
Okay.
Patagonia.
Big for us.
That's where the open to buy is going to those two brands in my territory.
Yep, Cool and
Patagonia?
Yeah, exactly.
My territory is Cool, Patagonia, Haller Brothers, and Prawn.
Yeah, we're not getting. Well, I'm same three. I don't get as much prawn. We have other brands up north. We see a little bit of Pendleton business, but it's Cool dominating the landscape. United by Blue is picking up a lot of the specialty business, a lot of kind of little eclectic stores that are in UBB.
What about
what
about 10 Tree for you guys?
Yeah,
Small, but
it's small, but it's there.
Waves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well,
Wait,
let's take lesbian.
1 second. Just so you guys know, Slim Fit, that's what Toad we used in Toad. Patagonia uses it. Everybody pretty much for the shirts, what we were talking about. So.
Okay. Yeah, the Slim Fit stuff. Realize it's sewn into the product. It's on the labels. It's on the. I mean, I don't want to say the ship has sailed. We got to.
But I think you're two different things. I think Annie's talking about men's tops. I know that like the pie is baked when we get into men's bottoms. Like it would be crazy to try and change it a third time. I do get it, although down the road it would be good. But in men's tops, that fit like brands we're going after brands that are on the project. You know, some of the top players they're all offering that slim fit or that more modern fit or that bison fit, if that's what you want to call it. I don't really care. I mean, it'd probably be good to take more ownership over some of those little marketing tools, so we're not just market average. But you know, it's an important category that we need to really kind of look.
Okay. All right,
hey,
Steve. Yeah.
I got a peel here, but I just wanted to make one comment on women's bottoms. You know, I really kind of feel like if we're looking at men's bottoms and how well we do with our little more outdoorsy, rugged style, and if you look at women's, we have very little to offer there. And I know we've tried it in the past, but I think that we need to key in on what's working really well in men's and then push that into women's. And that's one of the major problems I'm having with women's bottoms. But I just want to kind of, I have to peel here. But yeah, that would be my big feedback on women's bottoms, that I feel like we're missing what our DNA is in men's. We don't have it in the women's at all. So,
later.
Later, brother.
See you guys.
See ya.
All right, so let's just hop into women's because I think we've identified that this is a big area. You know, I kind of feel like we have been propping up with relationship buys and sales programs as a category out in khakis. Let's start off at the top here and let's just motor through here. Talk to me about this page here, guys.
Where are you at?
Oh, sorry, I'm at the summer sweater page.
Some interest in Rainmaker. I guess a little bit of traction there. I would keep nurturing that.
We did well with Genevieve.
Look out.
Okay.
The indication is probably something without any samples.
Where are you at?
Summer sweater killed it.
Okay.
Killed it, but he did not kill it. Rainmaker jacket, definitely in the yellow. That was pretty hot for my territory. We don't need 4 pictures of it in the catalog. That we wasted 2 pictures. Similar style.
Pushing it hard.
Okay. Talk to me about dress. Talk to me about Wildflower dress. What happened there? I heard that has kind of imploded a little bit.
What do you mean imploded?
I think it looks great on body or on mannequin. Like the folks that I had even at OR that saw it merchandise with the Genevieve jean jacket and the way it was built out, they loved it. And even my folks that have little broader eyes loved it, but it's been hit or miss. There's like one color there that seems to really be working, and it seems to be the juniper is what's done well for us initially. A little bit of twilight backup. General back across most of our women's dresses, and maybe this is just dresses as a whole, and I just don't get that, is none of them have great hanger appeal. Whether it's the Mountain Rose, it's the Go Time, even the Sydney, the Haven. Like, none of these things look great on a hanger, which is more difficult if they're not merchandise to sell through once we've got them.
Yeah, good. What else you guys hearing on dresses?
Keep putting it. I still keep putting pockets on them. Keep looking at the lookout. Did really, really well for us. The Emma did great. I mean, we sold the Mountain Wrap dress in, but it got canceled, and we had sold the Sydney as well. So, I mean, it's going to be commitment, you know, on whatever those MOQs are. But the Emma and the Lookout continue to crank.
The 6 units you sold, JJ,
what's that? The 6 units on Dabo?
6 units. Yeah, sold it. I'm selling. If we need some direction on dresses, where do we need to go? By her kids?
Yeah, make
Pocket,
more bra friendly,
longer
bra friendly options.
Yeah, I don't know where all back in dresses because we got a lot of pushback when we were putting shelf bras in, but making sure that they are bra strap friendly, making sure they're a little bit thing in our women's shorts. We got a lot of pushback on the 3.5 to 4 inch inseam shorts. So like we're kind of told inches or longer is kind of going to be the mandate, regardless of whether you're down south or up north. But same thing in the dresses. Some of them are just sitting a little bit too short, or at least listing too short center back for some of the dealers.
Yeah, but I would say, I mean, you know, it seems like we have a lot of tank dresses and that kind of thing, and I could sell a lot more dresses that are cap sleeves type style or lookout sleeve type sort of styling would just do better for me, and in less clingy. You know, I got what do I have? One woven. I got a lot of knit dresses, which tend to be
Peter,
clingy.
you're on target there. We have to get some new fabrications for the dresses.
And if we, you know, if we find fabrics in the dresses, then we need to build a tank and maybe a cap sleeve woven around it and build a
And
clutch
we need
around
more
it.
skirts, both in fall and spring line.
Absolutely.
We do not have enough skirts in business. My business and skirts were major.
Well, and I think
what about
I think the contour dress, the Go Time dress, and the Wildflower dress have run its course in our territory.
I'm just getting started with those in my territory. So.
Contour dress is exactly the same. I mean, the color change
minimal.
Nothing basically.
Yeah.
Very minimal.
Well, the contour would be cuter in a
Go
print.
Time is the same.
If you offered it in a solid and then prints, that dress would do better.
Which one?
The contour.
Oh, yeah, I agree. The Go Time for me, the price point is great. The whole Go Time group is great, but I'm sorry, 3 colors?
Yeah.
It's like that's not a basic. I can only merchandise it with so many pieces because I've only got 3 colors. And where's my basic black travel dress?
Right, Lynn and I tried to get black, but it was too late. But
that's a perfect example of us not making a stand. It's like, haven't we sold enough? I think it's the third season we have. At some point we're going to say this. You can go any group of print, yarn dye, whatever that we have in the entire women's line, and you can find 2 colors in the Go Time. Perfect.
No, yeah, we need to make that our Marley dress that is for toe.
That's the color program right there. It starts there and it builds up from there, but you can always tie it back.
The Go Time dress is a great price point. This style did. They did. That's 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a cover-up in our territory. It is. It's a cover-up. The bag style dress, those flowy dresses, they're out.
I won't disagree with that. I just think, if we're going to make, whatever group of tee and dress is our core, you got to have every color in the entire women's covered.
Well, you can take that fabric and then you just embellish the design. That's easy to understand.
Sure.
That fabric.
Absolutely.
We don't have we fabric categories. It's like, oh, here's one piece here. Oh, well, there's two pieces there. If it's sell-through fabric, let's expand on that and get some really cool designs with it. Make it a go-to category where they can even just do a four-way of fabric. I mean, that's what Samba did for Toad. That's what the for Mountain Hardwood, rushing it with their I'm trying to think of the name of the fabric.
Well, I mean, this even goes back to our meeting with Marisa. See, like the Aphrodite and the Dynamo collections from our competitors are what are that's what's crushing, and they're building collections around it. Like we used to have these, I think, broader collections in the women's line that has kind of gotten condensed as we decided to kill a product. That we're going to kill this SKU over here. We need to find that fabrication. We can do it at a really good competitive price point, not cheap, but just competitive. And then we need to really blow that out through the line and look at it for collections like those two or three that we just listed and say, okay, how do we build out where these other brands have had so much success? Because I mean, right now it feels like we just go in and we kind of ask, again, I said earlier, kind of like pet project. There's no cohesion here. So, this is the feedback that we've been getting over like the last. Here's what you should be doing. And we've gotten feedback that like the Azalea fabric is getting into that wheelhouse of that Dynamo hand and we just got to see what we can produce in it and make sure that we're competitive, and build out on some of that stuff.
That will come with the hiring of women's designers, which know how to source those kind of fabrics and build that. So.
Our accounts love the Haven collection, but they really had hoped it would have been like the Genevieve with some lycra or spandex in it, and not 100% cotton denim in the Haven shirt, tank, and dress, especially the dress.
Yeah,
a little bit more. I mean, they did book, but to get it on and off, Lord, it was tough.
Talk to me about some of our tanks. We have Wildflower, Mountain Rose, Emma, Solstice, Helena.
I mean, the Solstice had a proven winner, and Emma, being its lightweight, soft hand, always does well. For us, the Wildflower tank kind of just merchandise. They went with, cream. Again, it was one winner out of that whole little collection. And Helena, again, it's kind of like who's wearing it. Like when I initially saw this stuff in Jackson, like the Wildflower seems a little bit older, is super young. Solstice is kind of in the middle, but the Helena is super young. Like there's such a wide variance between Marit. It was tough. We didn't sell the Helena tank at all. It was short a little bit, but we struggled with it.
We booked it in our resort accounts, but the one to be that button at the neck, you need to be skinny giraffe neck to have the thing buttoned. And then when you unbutton it, it flaps open kind of odd. So that needs to be really adjusted.
What about the Mountain Rose?
Huge merchandising challenge.
Yeah.
It just didn't go with anything. It was an oddball, the stepchild of the line.
I don't know any woman that likes to wear 94% polyester.
Yeah.
I just don't. I mean, honest.
I know a lot of guys that want to wear 94% polyester.
Yeah, but Peter, that's up at your clubs in
that's right.
One.
Kind of like Jersey Shore stuff.
Yeah.
What about butter?
And it just didn't belong.
Yeah, it's like, where did that
Another
come
odd
from?
piece.
Hello.
Our accounts booked
Okay.
the short sleeve shirt, but not the skirt.
Yeah, I booked the skirt.
What about the Jenny?
I mean,
Jenny
yes, it was the
collection?
only skirt, but I did book the skirt, not the shirt.
Colors or
Jenny
colors?
colors not.
Yeah, colors didn't work at all. I got a little bit of
What?
play on the breeze, but I had to work on the tank, but it was a forced push. There wasn't a lot of genuine interest.
Yeah,
It was
isn't there
a gray.
isn't there something else we can do in that other than just plaids?
Yeah, no about that. We need to do some really embroidery pieces and some PK design pieces, but like the melon crushed it for me in my territory. Merchandising navy or white bottoms, they loved it.
And the melon in the tank we did well with, not in the
Yeah.
tunic.
No,
the-
not much of the tunic.
Savannah.
Nope.
Mostly in the solids.
Great with it. It's a classic piece. It could be a cover up. So the white color and the breeze.
It's a but it's a $70, 100% cotton cover up. $5. It should be wholesale.
Yeah, they didn't care about the price section.
Jetty got canceled, so that got canceled early.
For obvious reasons.
What about the? Yeah.
Passport was
Just so
great.
Corb, did that do good for you guys?
Resonated really well for my territory.
Okay.
Keep it rolling.
Not so much.
Yeah.
That's a huge opportunity, I think.
I think
for
it's good.
women
I think we still need more
especially.
colors.
Way
Yes.
more colors.
Yeah.
I mean, we offer like 5 or 6 in the men. We should have put more offering to the.
Can we get that in some prints? Maybe that's a great fabric. That could be a
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Fabric. Just
And then we need a
Put them on the
solid
men's
red.
side too.
big fish.
Everywhere.
Okay. Let's
Cut it out.
go to Lookout Tank.
Hey, we booked it good. I think I actually had more interest in the dress version. I don't know if it was just the cross-back strap style of the tank. Maybe they wanted it to be a little bit sportier. But yeah, we're booking 2 colors just about everybody in the tank.
Comments that the material and the size of the straps is just super elasticy, not at all.
No.
A little bit worried. It's sort of an active fabric, so we ought to make it a little bit more active, wearable. Yeah. And those straps are not that. They are exactly the opposite.
No, it's very flimsy and stretches out.
Right.
It just didn't like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, I think we're good there. What about the Solstice short sleeve?
Canceled for obvious reasons.
Cancel.
Canceled. Thank goodness.
Sydney
Too
collection.
flimsy of a fabric. No support whatsoever.
Yeah, it could have been. I think the design interesting, but the fabric choice was probably wrong.
Yeah.
That short sleeve shirt had horrible hanger appeal. It was horrible.
A lot of pregnancy shirts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Just didn't
Contour
resonate.
tank. I feel like that's probably the feedback here is that it's a little bit dated, stale style. Passage hoodie.
Crushed it in my territory. Need more
More colors, more
and
lightweight sun
style.
colors.
I need more styles in this fabric and more colors and bring it on.
So women's tops. Let's pause right here. Magic wand on women's tops. What do you need? Do you need more technical tops? Do you need more? It sounds like what I'm hearing from you guys is that you want some more consolidation on fabric stories. So there's stories with a lot of silhouettes in certain fabric stories, less 100% cotton. bra friendly styles. What
I would
am I
like
missing here?
more like second layering pieces that you can trail run, you can travel, take off when you start to get warm, and because that way you can compete with some of the pieces from Toad and Patagonia and Mammut and La Sportiva. So
I'd like this for prints. I feel like everything is solid, or we put some kind of an embroidery in if we're not just throwing a plaid over the top of it. So we kind of touched on it with the passport. Yeah, definitely developing collections around fabrics and building that out, but also, to develop stories, but more print, or, like our print story every season. It's got something fun and bright, but we should expand that and do that into more styles, and not make sure that not everything has to mimic what the sport doesn't always have to mimic the men's line. Like, it can be different. It can have prints. It can have some more, kind of femininity to it. And same thing in some of the other stuff.
Prints that are non-cutesy, more just rugged looking, or I don't know if that's not even the right word.
Well, not rugged, but like an organic, an outdoor organic print that is very merchandisable and a wide demographic of people.
Yeah, I think part of our struggle here is we're trying to capture, we're trying to capture, on the men's side, we've got outdoor and we've got better men's, and on the women's side, trying to capture outdoor and like boutique lifestyle. And that's where I feel like a lot of the cohesion is broken. And where we do kind of the outdoor technical, it's kind of more of that kind of plain mimics men's stuff. And then we've got some cute prints and stuff to kind of go into that boutique, but we need to cross that. We need to have those two areas need to live together.
Women's just doesn't have a targeted customer that they could. Who is your women's mountain khaki customer? Because with this line, nobody knows. It's so all over the place.
Yeah, what I'm hearing from you guys is really need to kind of scratch and like reevaluate who the woman is, and actually more than just who the woman is, because I think there's a component of, like, we've always said tomboy sexy, but that's such a little thing. Who is the main woman that's coming into outdoor stores, and how do we target her with the brand more, and how do we just figure out the small little portion of who mountain khaki could be, but we got to who that main coming into outdoor stores is.
I agree. Yeah.
Who is the customer? I mean, what is it to the women? Because if it's more athletic, you can do some really cute dresses that are athletic driven and performance as well.
Didn't our marketing team put together a ginormous presentation on our women's business 2 seasons ago, Steve, where they went through a full wordgram and they talked about fit, and this is who our woman is? I remember Jen sitting up there going on about we dialed into who our woman is. I wonder if we reflect on that information, if that's who we're still designing around, or are we just kind of picking and choosing who we're designing around? Or is that even still who the customer is?
I mean, I have my own opinion, but I'm not here to give you guys my opinions. I want to hear from you guys.
Well, we want to hear your.
Right. I
want to hear your opinion.
Off recording.
I mean, I'm in sales. I can talk. My opinion is that the demographic that we put together was way too broad. It was mountain khakis is something to every woman, whether you're cycling, yoga, climbing, traveling, whatever. And you can't be all things to all people. And so I think we need to do. And I think we've also tried to say, well, who's the mountain khakis woman? And the mountain khaki woman just isn't every woman. It really isn't. It might work really great for Annie, but it's not going to work for Ron. And it's not going to work for JJ. And so I think really what we need to do is we need to kind of tear it all down, completely down, and say, what's the woman? Who is she? that comes into outdoor stores, because that's our primary distribution is outdoor stores or online outdoor websites, and say, who is she, what is she doing, what is she wearing across the United States, from coast to ocean to wherever, and figure out who that person is and design to that person. So as much as I, and I was involved in that initial thing with Jen. So I was part of trying to put that together. And I also think that there was a little bit more like soul shine, and she's this, and she's a free spirit. Well, the free spirit doesn't really tell me what she's wearing. It just tells me who she is, what activity she's doing. It doesn't tell me what design features she likes. It doesn't tell me what kind of trim she likes, that she looks for in product. So I think we need to kind of refine it more to activity, what she's looking for, what features and benefits she's, that sort of thing.
Sounds good. Go get them.
So that's thanks. Let me just hop right on that, guys. All right. That's why we have a design team. I have a lane. My lane is to help sales. That is not my lane. Right. I'm just capturing feedback. So women's bottoms, and then we're going to be done. And thank you guys for marathoning with me here. This is going to be tremendously helpful. Talk to me about women's bottoms. I think there's only there's 3.5 pages.
Wait, we gotta get one thing out about women's tops. We got major fit issues. I mean, bottom, but that has to be addressed. So.
What are you hearing, Eddie?
It's not only hearing, I'm seeing this stuff on, and we've got some issues with our shirts. It's a
lot better than it's been.
What specifically are you hearing?
There's too much fabric in the back line of the shirts, and then there's down to the hips and the buttocks. So then it bunches. So we have to look at the openings and the side seams for a lot of the shirts, Jenny's, and in the solstice. It's a major problem with the solstice tank because the bottom, it's just too square and boxy on the bottom. And then wildflower dress. There's a couple fittings that hurt the sales of it, but seeing it on Linda, seeing it on me, seeing it on a bunch of girls, there's an obvious fit issue.
Yeah, I've heard from our bigger retailers that the Missy straight fit that we're using is really not the most general fit.
Yeah.
That we need to go more to the Missy curvy fit instead of Missy straight, because Missy straight is fine for. And I mean, I'll that our design team was a little bit more of the Missy straight fit. Little less bust. Not as big in the bust, and they're not curvier. They're more athletic, and that fit great on them. But that's not the kind of the popular universal commercial fit that's out there.
Same thing with the women's.
All right, talk to me about Skyline and Azalea.
I mean, even on the comp sheet that you sent over on the Skyline, we're the most premium brand on that list. I mean, it's tough to come into the market as the most premium brand on a product like that. It's got a good story, and I have some good traction to it. I think it's really cool. I like to see it expand there, but yeah, again, it's a market. If we want to try to enter, I don't feel like we always have to come in as a premium. We can come in price competitively against the current premium brand, which is $10 cheap, but it's still it's a tough sell. And then the Azalea is expensive. I've got one person that can do it, and that's a great fabric. I'd love to see us build that out and maybe do so in a little more cost-effective way for future silhouettes. But a print would be great. I mean, something other. I don't even know the solids. We didn't get any traction. If we do it, we're going to do it in the plaids, just like we did this last season. So we should really expand that kind of funness to it.
I mean, I totally agree. I don't understand how the score can be $85. I really don't.
No.
It's polyester.
S19 says, we do great with squirts. We can crush our own. And it's on the price. I'm like, we can't do your
It's
squirt
like,
at that,
exactly.
that number.
Wow, must be a good margin or something. I don't know.
Well,
Well, it's not going to be good margin because it's not going to get made.
So the other thing, JJ, that we heard from Marie specifically was they love fabric. They love it in some, maybe a different short, a pant, a capri, or something along those lines.
Definitely. This was the fact when she was referencing Aphrodite and the Dynamo collection. She's like, this could be great if you build this out. Take this hand, this technical fabric, and add it to the line, and kind of consult with some of those other styles within those collections of those brands that are doing so well. And we could probably see some great success. So that's what.
100% agree with that. But look at the color in this short. I mean, look at those colors. Realistically, there's one color I might sell. That's Twilight Solid. Oh,
right.
Four colors goes to one in a hard, you know, and that's still an $85 short. I mean, if we can get the price in line with things, I totally agree. That's that's fabric to kind of build a whole collection around, including a capri, you name it, prints. You go nuts with it.
Okay. Teton Press is canceled. We tried that for a couple seasons. I feel like, are you guys feeling like we're getting any more traction in Cruiser or not really?
I think the with the category, I think the fabric could easily be better, softer. I think the fabric needs an update. It's a rough fabric. It's just, it's outpaced. You put it next to the azalea, it's a stretch. The azalea is like soft and buttery, and the Cruiser is rough and not very pleasant. But the category, we need
it's a great spot for you to take that stretch poly in the azalea and build it out, maybe as a 2020 replacement Cruiser collection. And the fit on that Cruiser, we still in the pant, we're not seeing the best results even with the update.
Okay, Haven short, Helena short.
Novelty pieces,
Yeah, it goes back to in. We didn't pay on that 3.5 inches short for my guys or gals.
2 sandbar?
Short.
Too short.
Yep.
We needed a 5-inch.
Yep.
C-side?
More colors. We added a color at the last moment to make it reasonable. But that was a great short. We kind of killed it. We had Sky and we had Rose. Sky got canceled. We had
Freestone back in,
Yeah, so essentially we had the same 2 colors as last year. So people were kind of like, that's too bad.
We have to watch the fit on the opening of the legs of that short.
Interesting.
A little tight. So anybody with stronger legs, bigger legs, doesn't fit it.
Relax.
Genevieve and Sadie.
I mean, I feel like it's just the denim program for us has been tough. The skinny jean does okay. The inseam on the short shorts is a little do well with that boot cut anymore. So I mean, it feels like we're struggling to compete in that denim in my territory. You fall with the color hits, but the amethyst didn't really do too much on the specialty side.
No, the white's great.
Certainly.
The amethyst was weak.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only. I don't even sell it as a denim. I just sell it as a white short.
Yeah, I sell the white, and then the fall I'll sell the black or whatever good colors we have. But
in more fun colors, because that's how Prana does well with their Kari, and Patagonia as well. They did some stripes, and they did some prints on the jean. So just need to mix it up.
And our jean shorts plain like that, even in style. I mean, they just don't work for our territory. What linen does, but jean short, no, it just doesn't. The amethyst. Oh.
I mean, I've definitely seen older and younger women wearing the fringe shorts, but in in a lighter jeans.
Right.
I think if they do a lighter fabric in the summertime and then do this for fall winter, we'd have a better sell. And then with the bright fun, women love that.
A finished seam on a jean short is just not trending. How about that?
That exterior finish one, I would say we've had many instances where those have been messed up through fabrication. We found them in retail where it's like a windy road going on the bottom of a short.
Yeah,
yeah, the denim is really in the skinny jean. The other stuff is just tough for me. It's just not where it's
right.
I would love to say basic here for like some ground rules. Try to keep our shorts like 5 inches or longer on inseam, or offer more longer shorts outside of like because even the seaside was going to be my go-to when I got pushed back on the sandbar, but we're still sub 5 at 4 inches. It's a little bit better, but a little too short for most of our outdoor shops. We need longer stuff for the ladies. A lot of this stuff is the shorts. They might have a cute style, but they're built and cut for a young customer. At 3.5 to 4 inches. And I think that's on the too young end of our spectrum.
What about in general? So what about capris?
In regard to adding into the line?
Yeah, should we have some?
Maybe ankle length with a cuff on it. I don't know.
We could do a fun stretch and ankle length, and then put a print on the cuff when you roll up.
I'm just saying that we got pants and we have shorts and pants that roll up that kind of look stupid if you roll them up. They're bulky. They don't look very.
It's such a small segment, Peter. It's kind of capris have died out, and the ankle pants in the summer. It's a skew or a style that we know we could really sell instead of doing that, because if Victoria's going to be like, well, something's got to I'd rather not and have something else that we can make more money.
I won't push either way on this. We tried capris. We had the old capri for ladies, capris over tenure, and we've never successfully sold through one of them. Whether that was fabrication or what, no specific reason, because it was a couple seasons. But yeah, I won't. I'm either way.
Be more of an
I just want to see again.
It's like a loungy type pant for it to really.
Well,
it's going to be ankle
again, if we're going to do it, I go back to like utilizing that azalea or whatever that next great hand is going to be, that great fabrication for 2020 that we need to find, build out. Then maybe we can do a style in there. I don't think that we couldn't sell. I'm sure we probably could, but I don't have demand. People asking for it.
No, cool, but it's very technical. A knee length short, but it's fitted, very technical, and I know it does run.
Well, I mean, Jake.
Linda brought this up as a
fabric for Mountain Hardware. They've got that loungy sweatpant type ankle length in black, and that thing's all day long.
Yeah.
The kayak pant that we had for Horny Toe, that thing we sold for like 15 years. Just kept selling out. So if it's a comfy fabric, they're gonna eat it up.
Comfy, competitively priced fabric. Go ahead, Steve. Sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off again.
Yeah, that's right. No, the Haven short. So what do you guys think about a pull-on pant there with the drawstring waist?
What's the leg going to be? Like a long, like a seaside beachy flowy leg, or is it going to be more like a cargo pant, like tailored leg that comes in at the ankle? Tapers in a little bit to kind of know what that fabrication would look like.
I would say that you could do a jogger leg or you could do a flowy leg.
Not in the.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time with it.
It had to be a completely different fabric.
Okay, well, all All right.
And then
Let's
it's
move
something
on
we can do,
to.
you know, do cool prints, the camo, put the Calamity in the camo. So
Is it time to move on from Sadie?
I think that products like the no, I just freaking forgot it right off my head. I got it. We do good with your general khaki colors, but if we had a better inseam on like the sandbar, I could replace it easily. I don't know if I'm going to add to it. I think it's going to be an either or, but the sandbar I think is a better product for a more casual customer.
the thing we have to watch for is not have O-rise, because I was getting a lot of those questions about our women's bottoms, and we need to have some mid-rise fits. O-rise.
Yeah, I think we need something in this category, whether
Fabric.
it's an updated fabric and maybe an updated styling, but we need something in this category.
I think it definitely an update. It's one of those ones when you get to the catalog and the customer has seen it for the last 4 or 5 seasons, you pull it off the rack to look at the Sadie Chino again. And I go, okay, no, we're good there. No, okay, I'll just look there if I booked it last season. You know, we're not enticing them with a melon ad for the season, or, you know, black is probably more fallish, but
Last page of women's here. We had Calamity Cargo, Camber 106, and Camber 105.
Camber's too heavy for my territory this time of year. The Calamity was hit and miss, more miss than anything. Cute style. I just don't know if maybe we missed the window on it out here anyways.
I'd like to see a women's all mountain short fabric in the Camber 106 style. Once again, I think the fabric's a little heavy for a hiking outdoor short, and the roll up hem on that. Get rid of that. It's an active short. Make it active style. Don't try to be in betwixt and between.
Yeah, a good 6-ounce weight would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean that jean style, 5-pocket style, and I would have a Camber 105 short as well. That if you want to adopt the 106 styling, it's a more casual fabric. And the only other thing in women's bottom I would add is a real woman's back to.
Did we lose Peter right at the end?
Yeah, we must have lost Peter.
I lost his last
Me too.
ad. It'd be like highlight. The one thing that we've got to change is.
Yeah. All right. I think that captures most of it. You know, are you outdoors? I haven't heard much feedback on, because I heard that outdoors is just a little too expensive.
It's too expensive, and it's just not. I mean, people that have success with their bags, that's not what they want to see from us. They don't want kind of, you know, technical outdoor hiking packs. They love the canvas. They love, you know, the accessory side of our business is driven by those things that are kind of true to their MK culture, which is that heavier canvas fabrication. It's what used to be the recycled sterling rope. You know, the outdoorist. I got some negative pushback from dealers on the coolers, like our coolers not insulating or not holding water. So some pushback there. They're making jokes at OR about people that are walking around with them. You should go tell that dude that his cooler does not insulate and it does not keep him dry. So Apple nylon bagger is just it's not something we should be putting our time and resources into. You know, give me more mini market totes. Expand on the canvas. Like build me more badass canvas stuff and printed stuff that merchandises in line, I guess, with what we're selling all day, every day.
Okay. And then belts. I think hats are hats. I heard belts, stretch webbing belts.
The ones that are we talking about? The ones that are in catalog
We
now?
need some new
The
prints.
Fish Creek?
We need new
Yeah.
web belts.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
Some new prints in the webbing welts would be cool. Putting I know, I think I described it last time, it was like a stretchy belt, like an arcade, but even if we went to like some kind of a carbon fiber, a polymer buckle, something that makes those belts easier to travel with, something that I could sell them to in the bag and Edwards luggage into the travel companies too, would be really, really helpful in that line as well. Just giving us a lighter weight travel, TSA friendly buckle, or slide through belt rather than the metal one.
We need
Prints are good.
and we need sun hats, and we need some kind of running, more breathable mesh, fishing, beachy hats.
If we're going to go harder after the, continue to push after the synthetic side and go after more building programs around fly fishing shops, then we probably should definitely be looking to add sun hats. I got asked more about them this year than ever before, about whether or not we're doing hats, or if we're adding sun hats to our hat collection. So I don't know how easy of a plug-in that is, but then we look at.
Okay.
Well, hey, this is Peter. I'm back in the meeting. I'm in on hats.
I hear your one women's thing.
You cut out.
What's that?
You said the one thing I would change about,
I don't know what happened.
And then you just built up on suspense.
Oh, damn it. I got to remember what it was.
Okay.
Let me just talk about hats, and then it'll come to me. It was pants, but we keep, driving the hats. We just need a better quality hat, a hat that does not cave in, where the brim meets the curve. People buy a hat. The hat is not wearable after a week, and they'll never buy another hat from us unless we do that hat.
Well, ours to make Cirque, and that company is known for having stiff mesh and the fits are off. So we need to source our hats from a different company, and I did give a couple names to Noah and Ned.
I'll be in charge of the hat program. Anyway, it's a pet peeve, but we're kind of going nowhere with hats, in my opinion. But it's because people kind of get the hats and the sell-throughs okay because the hats are not good. So we could sell a lot more. We could sell a lot more to the fly shops and every other shop if we have a good hat. My thing on the women's bottoms was cut out, but it was the all mountain short fabric. They got in the men's short fabric for women without a cuff at the bottom, and maybe a 105 fabric short for women. And then a true like Camber 106 pant or a real work women.
You're gonna get
That's coming fall 19.
Awesome.
All right. So parting words, parting comments. The one thing that you would put on the top of the list for the product team to if this is our one thing, what
Hire a
would it
woman's
be?
designer.
Try to be as
Hire a woman's designer.
I would to say something different. I would say develop cohesion. Like make sure what they're bringing to market is cohesive. Make sure whether there's a female designer or be anybody new to help design that spring 20 line. But we need A game. I need to know that when I'm selling stuff in, that I'm getting a week following our first sales meeting, that 15% of that business isn't going to be canceled away in the coming category pieces that we can build out on, and stop with all the hit and miss, like just trying to keep customers. Let's build it out and determine who our customer is and do that. Sorry.
Yeah, I would like to show up to the sales meeting, have them lay out super strong programs, lay it out, merchandise it fully for us, and it boom is dialed. So that we get customer and this is the program and everything here will go together, that kind of thing. And I think they'd have been.
Speaking of cancellations, do we have more coming down the pipeline this week or next week?
I published to you guys yet, but I need to make sure it is accurate.
Is it quite a bit?
I haven't had a chance. It came out during OR. I didn't look at it because I think there's stuff on there that we're just selling through available inventory on. So I'm working on it right now. It's on my list. So I gotta review it with Victoria and see if it really is a cancel list. Because there's stuff, some of the Genevieve stuff that I'm circling back around on to see if we can make lower minimums on. So we're trying from canceling. So awesome. Well, thank you guys. I know this was way longer than any of us, but I think we had to do that in order to get the feedback and try to record it here and capture it. Some bail off during the call, which is totally fine and acceptable. But thank you guys for weathering it through with me.
Well, you said that we'd get extra commission for staying on longer.
Oh, I did?
No, you did from the next 3 podcasts.
Oh, no.
That's what you said.
It's a grab bag. Yeah, get what you want. Like, just name it.
For those two